Hello everyone, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce our member of Group 8. My name is Rafidah Fitriana, my friend Sarla Marisa Laila Zulfa, and also Anglalia Ekawidia Maresti. Okay, in here we want to presenting about language and society. Let's watch it.
Number 1. Definition. Sociolinguistics, like other subjects, is partly theoretical and partly empirical. To be precise, sociolinguists study the relationship between language and society. Sosiolinguistik bersifat teoritis dan empiris. Lebih tepatnya, sosiolinguistik mempelajari hubungan antara bahasa dan masyarakat. Number 2 is language variation. A. Dialects. The variation can also be social based on social status or class of the users. The users of a dialect have certain features that mark them as people who have the same dialect. For example, people who use Urdu with dialect of Dakini, spoken in South India, have their own specific features that are different from others who have the dialect of Kariboli, spoken mostly in Delhi, but they can communicate well with each other because those dialects are the varieties of the same language, Urdu. Variasi juga dapat bersifat sosial, yaitu berdasarkan status sosial atau kelas pengguna. Pengguna suatu dialek memiliki ciri-ciri tertentu yang menandai mereka sebagai orang-orang yang memiliki dialek yang sama. B. Accent. It is referring to differences in pronunciation between speakers of a language. For example, received pronunciation spoken in the south of England by educated speakers and Cockney used by uneducated speakers in London are accents of English. The word coat pronounced by an American sounds like quart pronounced by a British speaker of English, and the word leather sounds like leather to many non-American English speakers. Ini mengacu pada perbedaan pengucapan antara penutur bahasa. C. Registers. The term register refers to the varieties based on occupation characterized by variation in lexicon. It is the specialist use of language related to various occupations. For example, the word sister has a different meaning in general everyday language. Sister, sibling, and in the word of medicine, sister, nurse. Istilah register mengacu pada varietas berdasarkan pekerjaan yang ditandai dengan variasi dalam leksikon. Ini adalah penggunaan khusus bahasa yang terkait dengan berbagai pekerjaan. D. Styles. Varieties can also be characterized based on the social relations between the hearer and the speaker from the point of view of formality. Just such as 5 styles in spoken English based on the scale of formality. And the other example you can see in slide. Thank you. Varietas juga dapat dicirikan berdasarkan hubungan sosial antara pendengar dan pembicara dari sudut pandang formalitas.
E. Standard and non-standard varieties. A standard variety of language is the variety which is given either legal or quasi-legal status. For a standard variety, a recognized dictionary, a grammar, and a system of pronunciation is available. A non-standard variety is not given the legal status, and generally no references are available. Jadi, ragam bahasa baku adalah ragam yang diberi status sah atau semu, sedangkan ragam bahasa non-baku tidak diberi status hukum dan umumnya tidak ada referensi yang tersedia. F. Native and non-native varieties. The variety which is acquired by a speaker from the childhood in natural settings, and in which his or her first socialization takes place in the native variety of language. On the other hand, the variety which is learned by a speaker in a formal setting like school and is learned after the child has acquired its first language is the non-native variety. American and Canadian English are the native varieties of English, whereas Indian English the non-native variety. Jadi, ragam bahasa manusia ada dua, yaitu varietas asli dan non-asli. Semisal, anak menerima bahasa pertamanya melalui penutur ibunya, itu merupakan varietas asli. Kemudian ketika sekolah, ia menemukan ragam bahasa baru yang dinamakan varietas non-asli. Next is bilingualism. Bilingualism is a sociolinguistic phenomenon, and the definition of the term has been a subject of much debate. Mackey 1962 defined bilingualism as the ability to use two languages. Weinreich 1953 defines it as the practice of alternately using two languages, while Haugen 1953 suggested a point where a speaker can first produce complete meaningful utterances in the other language to be a starting point for defining bilingualism. Pada intinya, bilingualisme adalah kemampuan menggunakan dua bahasa dalam fenomena linguistik. Categories of bilingual. Balanced bilinguals. Lambert et al. 1959 used the term balanced bilingual for the first time in Canada. The term was used to describe individuals who are fully competent in both languages, e.g., English-Hindi bilingual may be able to speak both languages fluently, but is likely to use Hindi exclusively in certain situations or while discussing certain topics. Fishman emphasized that it is this complementary nature of languages' functions that makes sure the survival of the bilingualism, since no society needs two languages to perform the same set of functions. Jadi, Lambert menggunakan istilah balanced bilingual untuk pertama kalinya di Kanada. Istilah ini digunakan untuk menggambarkan individu yang sepenuhnya kompeten dalam kedua bahasa. Semisal Inggris Hindi mungkin dapat berbicara kedua bahasa dengan lancar, tetapi kemungkinan besar menggunakan bahasa Hindi secara eksklusif dalam situasi tertentu atau saat mendiskusikan topik tertentu.
2. Dominant bilinguals. Dominant bilinguals are those bilinguals who are dominant in one language. The less dominant language is referred to as the subordinate language. For example, a Hindi-English medical practitioner may speak Hindi most of the time, except when he or she is discussing medical science-related topics, as he did his training in medicine in English. Jadi, bilingual dominan adalah bilingual yang menguasai satu bahasa. Bahasa yang kurang dominan disebut sebagai bahasa bawahan. Contohnya, seorang praktisi medis Hindi-Inggris mungkin berbicara bahasa Hindi hampir sepanjang waktu, kecuali ketika dia mendiskusikan topik-topik yang berhubungan dengan ilmu kedokteran. Saat dia melakukan pelatihan kedokteran, maka mereka akan menggunakan bahasa Inggris. 3. Passive or recessive bilinguals. The passive or recessive bilinguals are those bilinguals who are gradually losing competence in one language, mostly because of lack of use. For example, a Hindi speaker migrated to America may find himself or herself isolated from a Hindi-speaking community, as he will be interacting with English-speaking Americans. Jadi, bilingual pasif adalah bilingual yang secara bertahap kehilangan kompetensi dalam satu bahasa, terutama karena kurangnya penggunaan. Bilingual ini disebut juga bilingual resesif. Contohnya, seorang penutur bahasa Hindi yang bermigrasi ke Amerika mungkin mendapati dirinya terisolasi dari komunitas berbahasa Hindi, karena ia akan berinteraksi dengan orang Amerika yang berbahasa Inggris. 4. Language contact. 1. Borrowings. The most common way that language influence each other is the exchange of words. For example, words like computer, internet, server in Hindi are borrowed from English. Jadi dalam language context ada dibagi menjadi 3. Yang pertama ada pinjaman. Cara paling umum bahwa bahasa saling mempengaruhi adalah pertukaran kata. Misalnya, kata-kata seperti komputer, internet, server dalam bahasa Hindi dipinjam dari bahasa Inggris. 2. Code mixing. If a word from the other code is used in the native language, instead of having a word for a concept, it is called code mixing. For example, saying "Tu mera waith karo bahar" instead of saying "Tu mera intizar karo bahar" in Urdu is an example of code mixing. Yang kedua ada campur kode. Jadi, jika sebuah kata dari kode lain digunakan dalam bahasa asli, meskipun memiliki kata untuk suatu konsep, itu yang dinamakan campur kode. Misalnya mengatakan "tum mera tunggu karo bahar", alih-alih mengatakan "tum mera intizar karo bahar". Dalam bahasa Urdu, itu merupakan contoh campur kode. 3. Code switching. If we make use of two different codes simultaneously or switch from one code to another in a discourse, it is called switching. For example, I want to talk to you. Kemudian yang ketiga ada alih kode. Jika kita menggunakan dua kode yang berbeda secara bersamaan atau beralih dari satu kode ke kode lain dalam sebuah wacana, maka itulah yang disebut alih kode. Misalnya, saya ingin berbicara dengan Anda. Thanks for attention everyone. Hopefully, this material proved to be beneficial. See you next time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.